Hey, welcome everybody to the journey. Okay, welcome back again. Clayton Daniels here for everybody that's new to the show. We started this blog here that's going to allow people to come get some information, coaches, players, get down to the truth about youth sports. So we want to be your one-stop, information center to kick out information that's going to help the player and the coaches and even the parents. Right? We're kind of covering just youth sports in general, just trying to make them better and trying to, help the games, help people. And we play these games and we just learn so much about life through games, right? But the long-term picture of this is really we're trying to shape young people into making them great people, right? Great citizens, great teammates, great moms, dads, brothers, sisters. Essentially, we're just trying to take these young people and give them a little bit of guidance and hope that we can help them to turn into great people, right? I mean, that's really what we're doing with these youth sports, right? I mean, we can get a lot of things out of sports. We can get educations, which is important to whatever kind of education you're after. We can get life lessons, right? We know how to work. You can learn how to work through this. We learn how to, I personally feel this is maybe one of the biggest things about sports is it allows us to teach young people about failure and how to deal with failure, right? I mean, in life, there's a lot of downs, there's a lot of ups, and some people don't experience and don't practice. The more we practice something, the better we get. So if we're having, more practice at failing, I think we're going to be better at handling things as an adult whenever we encounter them because we've done it before, right? It's like anything else. The more you practice, the better you get. So I think personally, sports allow us to, expose children or, even old children, younger children at all levels to some difficulty, some adversity. Then they have to work through that. But it's in a controlled environment somewhat. As we as coaches can control some of that environment, but we're also there, to lock arm to arm with them and lead them through it, right? I mean, that's what we're here as coaches is, we're trying to guide these kids through. So, sports can get a bad rap from people that don't really know or haven't been around it. But there's so many good things that sports can teach you if it's taught right, which is why we're here. We're here to kick out the good information, right? If you watched our earlier series, we did the 3-part series, right, as far as what I feel is most important in youth programs. You can put it in any sport you want to put it in. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Okay, that's the 3-part series: effort, anxiety, and fundamentals. I think those 3 big things is the effort we can teach because we can control that. The anxiety, right? Every single person walking this earth has anxiety of some kind. Some are less, some are others. Some, and some of it may be sports, some of it may be public speaking, right? I mean, everybody's got some type of anxiety, right? So let's just talk about it. Let's not, kick it down the road. Let's not act like nobody's feeling it, right? Because it happens on all levels. So, and that's, like I said, I think, there's a lot of mental health talk these days and a lot of issues really on the mental health, and I really think that sports could allow us to, maybe help some of that if we really do this right and help prepare people and talk to things about anxiety and get that out early on in their lives that, it's okay to feel that, how do we say control it, but how do we manage it, right? So, like I say, more practice, and then the last one is fundamentals. We really talked about the fundamentals and I think I made a reference that, without fundamentals, we throw these kids into all these games, and it's kind of like allowing your child to drive a car without ever doing any training, right? Without earning their license, without all the practice. It's just like, here's the keys to the car, go drive it. Okay, I mean, and it's awfully easy to see when you go watch games and teams that just aren't very fundamentally sound. Okay, it's very easy to see. Right, and the results usually show it. So go back and watch those episodes. We dive way deeper into that. Okay, today I do want to kind of build off of that show a little bit with our effort. I want to talk about effort today, but we're really going to channel into some attitude, some hustle, and some work ethic, right? On the effort side is something we can always control, right? I mean, you may not feel good that day. You could be sick. You could be tired. You could have been on a stretch where you played 3 games in a row, right? Number 4 day, you're kind of tired, but you can still control that effort you're going to put out, right? Because and that comes kind of back to a pride thing, right? So how do you want to be remembered? How, when you're sitting right next to your buddy looking down the road, like, do you want to be the one that just didn't show up? Or do you want to be the one that they know they can count on every day? Like, hey, he's ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's go do this, right? So we want to show up every day with effort. And that comes back to our attitude, right? How do we approach the game? I mean, there's lots of stuff that goes on outside the game that can affect, what our focus is. But if we show up ready to work every day with a good attitude, and all our goal is to get better and help our team, okay, we're going to be very successful. We're going to really get better, right? And we may not see that overnight, okay? It's kind of like everything's electronic scales today, but you think of that old weight, right? That old scale, right? Where we got the base coming up and the arm rotates whatever's heavier, right? So over here's our bad habits, over here's our good habits, right? If we continue to throw in a good day of practice, eventually that thing is going to get heavier and tip, right? But in the beginning, it doesn't really alter much, right? That's the same in sports, is we just get a little better every single day, right? And that's where the work ethic comes into this part of it, right? We put the work in every day, right? It's a faith, right? And if we do it right, though, they're going to see some results. And it's going to build and build and build. But you've got to get your players to buy in and tell them that it is going to be better. I mean, you have to know your stuff, right? But if we can get the fundamentals down and just ingrain, and the player does things right, eventually they're going to get better and better, and then the scales are going to tip. Okay? So on the effort side, right? What's the big deal about effort, right? My player's really talented. Obviously they develop faster than the other team, right? And we're just bigger, stronger, faster. Like why do we need to do that, right? Because at some point everybody's going to catch up. Okay? Everybody develops at different speed. At some point they're going to catch up. And if your guys aren't used to competing, okay, when that happens, your players, they may quit playing because they don't know how to handle a competition, right? As opposed to a player that was smaller and he had to compete his whole life. He's been competing his whole life, okay? And now you're just learning to at 16, 18 years old, right? So that's why we show up ready to work every day, right? Because it's a finite time. You, as a youth athlete, as much time as it seems like you're going to have, your time is way, way going to go faster than you think, right? Just like the old sand time, the timer, you flip it up and the sand runs out. Well, essentially, today, from going before you watch this video, it's just like taking that sand, turn it, and the sand is pouring out, and the next thing you know, high school is going to be over, and you'll be looking back going, where'd it go? Right? So I'm here today to tell you that it's time to get to work and get serious about your craft, if you have any ambition of playing beyond high school. Okay? Whether you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 16, 17, every second of every day, that's the time going by, right? Time doesn't stop for anybody. That is the time that's going out that you could be getting better every day, right? Because it's those little things, right? Those little pebbles added to that every single day that's going to make the difference between how successful you are and how much failure you deal with. Okay? When we step onto that field, players, coaches, right? We're not just representing ourselves. Okay? It's bigger than you, right? The games are always going to be bigger than you. You're going to come and go, no matter how good you are. You're going to come and go, and there's a new wave coming in. right? The game is going to continue on, and it's bigger than all of us. So you need to treat it with respect, okay? And you need to treat it the proper way of putting in the effort, right? Well, there's that word again, effort. You got to put in the effort, you got to put in the work ethic, and you got to hustle, okay? And hustle means we fly around, you know, you're on off the field, right? You're not out there rolling your eyes, shrugging your shoulders every time there's a bad call. You throw something, you know, you've heard the term body language, right? What's body language? Body language is how you react, right? How do you present yourself? How do you react when something goes your way? How do you react when it doesn't go your way? Right? Those are huge, right? Those nonverbal cues. How do you react? Right? Because, you know, like I said, when we step out on the field, we don't just represent yourself, right? You're representing your parents, right? Your teammates, your coach, your school, your grandparents, your community. Anybody that has any contact with you, you know, look, you're wearing that shirt, whatever shirt you're wearing, right? Everybody sees that, okay? And in today's world where everything is on, you know, social media, everybody's got a camera in their hand. You do something stupid, right? It's going to be recorded. Somebody's going to catch it, right? And you just made things a lot more difficult for yourself, and it makes you guys look bad, okay? You know, I like to think of it like this, right? There are so many kids out here hungry to go play beyond high school, right? So what would happen, right? You've worked hard. You've had your sights set on, you know, going and playing beyond college or beyond high school, right? And on that one day, just one day out of all those days, right? You go to run on the field and you walk, right? Or you throw your helmet. Bad call goes your way, you throw your helmet down, make a big fit, right? Or maybe you yell at somebody that for no reason, right? Or you challenge, you know, a coach or something of that nature that just makes you look really, really bad, right? Well, what if that one time that you did that, there was that college coach or that scout who came to watch you and you didn't know he was there or she was there, right? What if it's that one time is all it takes that they said, well, that kid doesn't have it, or that kid will never play for me, right? It's that one time, because whether you like it or not, whether it's fair or not, okay, that may be the only shot you have. And I sure would hate to ruin it, because that one day I didn't play as hard as I could play, right? Because as many kids as out there are playing, and they want it worse than you want it. If you have a coach or a scout that says, I've got two equal players, but this one hustles, this one has a great body, you know, control. They control their emotions, right? Versus this one who throws helmets, shrugs their shoulders, dips their head, walks on and off the field, thinks they're too good to hustle. That person won't play. I mean, that person just essentially set their lower level of play, or they'll be done playing, simply because of their body mannerisms and their body language. Okay? You don't want to be that person that misses out on an opportunity because somebody didn't think you care enough about the game to hustle, right? This is an extremely, you know, they say the interviews, I just know, you know, we're going to hear that, right? It's not going to be, how a person throws, how a person hits, how a person runs are things that are looked at, okay? But those aren't the seal the deal type deals, okay? Those aren't just the only qualities they look for, because there's lots of people that can throw, lots of people that can run, and lots of people that can hit, okay? And as you move up the food chain, right, you move up that chain, there's the little things like hustle and attitude and work ethic. Because if a coach knows I can bring this kid in and he will cause no issues because he just solely wants to get better, who do you think he's going to take versus the kid that has the bad attitude? Okay? So we need to square ourselves away and realize what opportunity you really have with this game, because nobody's holding you back of the amount of time you can do to get better. Okay? You need to put in the time. and have a great attitude about it every day. You need to enjoy this process, because it's a process, right? I mean, we've covered this a little bit before. I mean, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. You know, this isn't a movie where it's, you know, we go from struggling to the beginning of the movie to an hour and a half later and we have this huge success and we win the championship. That's not how real life works, right? It's a lot of struggle built up to either could be a win, right? Big success, or it could be a failure, right? But that doesn't take away the work. You know, that's how you survive that, is it doesn't take away the work, and then you turn that, if it is a failure, we turn that failure into a success, right? Because then we use that as fire. So we're going to talk about that on another show. But, you know, today we wanted to cover, why do we hustle? Why do we have work ethic? Why do we, you know, focus on effort? Those are the reasons why. Because the game is bigger than you are, and it'll be around long after you've done your thing and gone away, right? So get in there, work on your attitude, your hustle, and your work ethic, right? Just be a great teammate, and just always work on getting better. Just get 1% better every day, 0.5% better every day. Okay, from the time you're 8 till you're 18, it'll make all the difference in the world. So, parents, players, coaches, anybody, right? I hope this is out there. I hope we're reaching some people with this. I hope this answers some stuff for you. And like I say, if you got questions, hit us up. You know, leave us some feedback on here. Gladly to answer them. And we're just excited about putting this information out there. So on another note, on the beginning, we first started this show, I told you the mission that we started this is we wanted to make youth athletics better, right? The youth sports better, and really dig into a foothold and really raise our youth up and get them to be great people, right? So I'm not an amazing producer, right? That's not my background. I'm not a professional speaker, which if you watch this, you're obviously going to be able to tell that I'm definitely not a professional speaker, right? I just speak the truth, and I speak from the heart, and that's where this whole thing started, was I just felt there's a need to get this information out there, so we're putting it out there. But if there's anybody out there that is good with the technical side of it, right, the producing side, and feels like they've got something put on their heart too, to help with this mission and getting this put out there, we'd love to talk to you guys too. Okay, so any type of producers that want to help get this message out there, right? You know, the better we can make this look, the more people we're going to end up touching, and that's what it's all about, is just touching people. Okay, and the same goes for up and coming artists. If there's some music artists out there that have some great music you think would be good for this show, we'd love to put some of that on here, right, to help reach some of those youth as well. So hit us up with that. And again, we just appreciate you guys joining us here for the journey. Check us out and come back and we'll do it again. In the meantime, enjoy your journey.